And Judy's here. Oh my gosh.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are going to get started now. So welcome to this event. Our event today is hosted by Rad Yiddish, Queer Yiddish Camp, and Boston Workers Circle. And this is a radical Yiddish Zingeray led by Gritz and Pauli Katz. My name is Lily Weitzman. My pronouns are she, they. I am a light-skinned woman with straight brown hair, wearing glasses and a maroon sweatshirt. I'm Zooming to you all today from the traditional land of the Massachusetts people, otherwise known as Boston. And I invite you to write in the chat wherever you are Zooming in from today as well. We do have live cart captioning tonight, which will include both the English that we are saying as we're speaking, as well as the Yiddish lyrics of the songs that we're going to be singing. All right, and before we get started, just a little bit about the various organizations that are partnering to host this event. Rad Yiddish is an online meetup of Yiddishists to learn Yiddish together through leftist Yiddish cultural artifacts, stories, songs, anecdotes, in a supportive, accessible environment. Queer Yiddish Camp is a Yiddish language and cultural community for all levels, led by an all-queer faculty of world-renowned Yiddish teachers, scholars, artists, activists, and cultural workers. Boston Workers Circle is a community and spiritual home for secular Jewish life, a voice for progressive Jewish values and social change, and an arts and education center celebrating Yiddish, Jewish, and progressive cultures. And now I'm going to turn it over to Fragel for just a moment.
Thanks so much, Lilia. I'm Fragel. My pronouns are Faye Fair Fairs. I am a pale-skinned person with brown curly hair up in a bun, and you can see my brown scarf and a window in the background. I want to, so Lilia just told you about the 3 organizations putting on this event, and we always try to make our events as accessible as possible and don't charge a set fee. So we would really welcome your donations, any amount that you're able to give. And we have several ways that you can do that I just posted in the chat in US dollars or Canadian. So please check that out if you're able to give 18 or 180 or any other amount. We super appreciate it. That helps us hire cart captioners and other accessibility professionals and keep putting on these events for you. And I will turn it back over. Oh, actually, I'm reading the community agreement, but we're gonna share those on the screen first. So in this space, we ask that everyone respect people's marginalized identities, no racism, homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, femphobia, whorephobia, sexism, ableism, Satanism, classism, ageism, sizeism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, faith bashing, or other oppressive attitudes or behaviors. If someone points out something that we said or did was harmful by accident, we avoid getting defensive and correct the harm when possible, aiming to do better next time. And we also want to remind folks that if you're someone who tends to take up a lot of space, to be mindful of how much time you spend speaking and make time for others to share. And we encourage you to take the space if you're someone who tends to be a bit shyer, and keep yourselves muted when it's not your turn to speak or you're not asking any questions.
Great, thank you. And I think we are just about ready to get started. So I will introduce Linda and Pauli. Linda Gritz and Pauli Katz have been singing together since one of them was born. They are active members of Boston Workers Circle, Arbitereng, a secular progressive community rooted in radical Yiddishkeit, and sing in its Yiddish chorus, A Bessere Welt, A Better World. Find several duets by Linda and Pauli on Linda's brand new YouTube channel of original Yiddish songs and Yiddish versions of songs from other languages. And we're posting the link for that in the chat. And welcome, Linda and Pauli. Seid begrüßt.
Yay. Hi, I'm Pauli Katz. I have light skin. My dark hair, brown hair is in a very messy bun because I am a teacher. I have a purple long sleeve shirt on that is argyle with gray and white pieces to it, and I am wearing a necklace that says my name in Yiddish oysyes. It says Perl. Was is my name? That's my name in Yiddish.
I'm Linda Gritz. I have pale skin and short salt and pepper hair. We are on the land of Massachusetts and Pawtucket peoples. And I think, and I'm wearing a Yiddish necklace that says my English name, my American name in Yiddish, because this was a present from my grandfather, who, although Yiddish was his native language, called me Linda. So in Yiddish, it says Linda, as opposed to Liebe, which is my Yiddish name.
As Lilia said, we have been singing together since one of us was born.
Yes.
I love to sing with my mom. It is one of my happy places.
Okay. So let's see. Many radical Yiddish songs were born over 100 years ago during a time of social and political upheaval in Eastern Europe. Workers were waking up to their oppression and the possibilities of strength in numbers.
And in this beautiful radical culture, a new Yiddish way of being really just absorbed and reflected those values and ideals and humor. So today we're going to be focusing on the songs of humor and satire, the songs that poke fun at the people in power, that point out our own foibles, that question everything. We will sing old songs with a lot of their lesser known verses and old songs with new verses, and then we'll sing new songs. We hope you'll enjoy and will be inspired by our very rich heritage, our Yevusha, our radical Yiddishkeit.
Paulie and I will introduce and teach each song. We'll sing a verse and refrain if there is one, so that you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll all sing it together. Feel free after each song to offer your own observations, ask questions.
And a note, we will all sing it together. You will stay muted because Zoom does not function well when we all sing together someday.
Unfortunately,
So, any questions before we begin? In Zoom, if you're adept or not adept with Zoom, there is a button for reactions that might appear now in the three dots that are at the bottom of the screen, more, and then you'll have reactions. There will be a raise hand function. That's a way of telling us, hey, I'm confused, I've got a question. We may not get to you right away, but that helps. And then, well, there are other reactions that are fun to show, but the raise hand was the one I was thinking we would use tonight.
So, seems like there's no, we'll get started.
Okay, we are going to start with two songs from the 19th century that have a lot in common. They are both called Achdus, which means unity. Both songs are actually saying that we're not at all united. In both songs, that irony has actually been lost to modern times. I grew up singing both of these songs very earnestly and very believing that we are united and truly thinking of these as songs of look at our great unity. That's not what they were originally, as we have found out. Thank you to amazing historians who have done a lot of work really shining a light on these other verses and saying, hey, got some questions about this. So today we're going to reclaim these songs for their original biting dark humor.
The first song is known today as Alla Bride, which I have always sung since childhood, since Shola in the Bronx, as an upbeat, happy song. Und wir seien alle Brüder, oi, oi, alle Brüder, und wir singen fröhliche Lieder, oi, oi, oi. You know, we're all brothers and we sing happy songs. Thanks to Vivi Lax, a wonderful singer and performer from London, I now know better. In Vivi's book, Whitechapel Noise, Vivi describes the background and genesis of the song, which is based on a poem by Maurice Winchevsky, considered the first of the Yiddish proletarian poets. Born in Lithuania in 1856, Winchevsky lived in Germany, London, and New York. He wrote the poem Achtes, Unity, in London in 1890, during a time when there were great tensions, as always, between bosses and workers, the rich and the poor, and also in the Jewish community between the established English-speaking Jewish community and the newly arrived Yiddish-speaking immigrants. So let's look at the lyrics. Achtes.
And many people have written additional pieces.
And we'll sing the Winchevsky poem, the original words, and then throw in a few modern verses. So on the right are the lyrics of the poem in Yiddish, the Yiddish alphabet in oysyes. In the middle is English translation, and on the left is Yiddish in transliteration. And you'll see that there's a few little echoes, ya, ya, alla, oi, alla, ainik. The original poem is in the oysyes, and just the lyrics for the song, because to make the song, little echoes of lyrics were put in. So we've got all the oi, oi echo on the left. So if you're reading along on the Yiddish, you might either just remember to echo or look on the left at the transliteration. So going through what the song, the translation, yes, we are all united, whether we have a lot or a little. That was always already an eye-opener for me, because I know the original, not the original, Alla Bride that I sing, doesn't say whether we have a lot or a little. It's whether we are many or few. So, si mir hoppen viel zu wenig is whether we have a lot or a little. But what I always sang was si mir seinen viel zu wenig, whether we are many or few. And that already tells you, because Winchevsky is a good socialist, wouldn't have united feelings between someone who has a lot and someone who has a little. So that already tells you, maybe it isn't this happy song about union that we all thought. Then, and we all brothers, and we pray from one prayer book. Well, as Vivi tells us, this poem was written right after the London English-speaking established community put out a prayer book in English. The new immigrants would have none of it. So we don't daven, we don't pray from one book. Whether we are cutting trousers or stock coupons, so whether we are tailors or live off investments, we are all one. Oops, sorry.
Yep.
I
Forgot that it's a,
I was just trying to
I know.
scroll down.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. So shorts, so whether you have short payas, side locks, or long payas, Jews with and without money. So it goes on in a similar vein. Religious or sinners, skull caps, top hats. So I like how the religious heads go with the yarmulkes, and the sinners go with the top hats. pious and secular, bride and groom, broom with the stick. I wasn't sure about broom with the stick. Vivi referred to the broom as possibly a symbol of anarchism. She didn't say anything about the stick, but maybe that's the police. Who knows? And then it ends with a bunch of other whimsical combinations, and those are the original lyrics. If we go, that's where the poem ends, at least the verses that I know. And then we have some modern day verses. So Jeffrey Chandler, and we are all gay, like Jonathan and King David. I wrote, and we are all siblings, like Bagel, Pletzel, Roll, and Challah. And then Shira Hazir wrote, for COVID times, we'll all get together, whether at home or through the screens, by Zoom, by Google, everyone bring their own kugel. So let's go back and learn the words. Should we just recite, listen and repeat, or just recite? Maybe just,
I think we were going to do that for the later ones.
Okay. So, ja, wir seien alle einig, oi, alle einig, sie wir haben viel zu wenig, und wir seien alle Brüder, und wir davenen von ein Sidder. Sei wir schneiden Pantalones, sei wir schneiden ab Coupones. Einig seien alle mir, gleich der Even mitten Gewirr. Kurze Päes, lange Päes, jeden mit und an Matbees, Dare und gefüllte Kischkes. And I've got to get one more line down.
Oh, interesting. No, we don't have the space to do it. Okay, fine.
Eule Herze und Manischkes.
Okay, new plan. Lilia, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat and do this. Is going to be Abyssal to feel.
Oh, I've got the chat.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh no, I knew that, but in case something in the chat was I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Gott sei Dank.
So, fromme Cap und Cap von Sinders, Cap in Jamekes Zylinders. Alle seien mir ein Volk, wie Soldaten in ein Volk. Frum und link vereinigt alle, wie der Chossen mit der Kalle, wie der Besen mit den Stecken, wie die Zitzes mit die Ecken. So that's the talus, the prayer shawl. Now, the poem has more lines than the music scans. So I figured we would just sing the first three of this last, wie der Tier mit der Mezuzah, wie der Talia mit der Bluse, wie der Chumish mit der Rasha, all on the same line. So it'll be wie die Tier mit der Mezuzah, wie der Talia mit der Bluse, wie der Chumish mit der Rasha, oi mit der Rasha, and can continue on. Wie der Kugel mit der Kasche, wie der Tachshit mit dem Glanz, wie der Klezmer mit dem Tanz. So Pauli and I will sing one verse, and there's a die. I think we'll just do one die per page, just to move it along. Ja, wir seien alle einig, oi, alle einig, sie wir haben viel zu wenig, oi. Und wir seien alle Brüder, oi, alle Brüder, und wir dürfen von den Sidder, oi. So let's all take it from the top, and we'll sing more slowly so we can get the words in.
Were there questions before we go ahead and go through these songs? Go through these verses, excuse me. Okay, let's do it. Yes, thank you. Ja, wir seien alle einig, oi, alle einig, sie wir haben viel zu wenig, oi. Und wir seien alle Brüder, oi, alle Brüder, und wir dürfen von den Sidder, oi. Sei mir schneiden Pantalones, oi, oi, Pantalones, sei mir schneiden noch Coupones, oi, oi, oi. Einig seinen alle mir, oi, oi, alle mir, bleibt der Leben mitten wir, oi, oi, oi. Kurze Payes, lange Payes, oi, oi, lange Payes, jeden und hat ma Payes, oi, oi, oi. Dare und gefüllte Kischkes, oi, oi, gefüllte Kischkes, heule Herze und Manischkes, oi, oi, oi. Frumme Käppen sind es, oi, oi, Käppen sind es, Käppen ja nicke Zylinders, oi, oi, oi. Alle seien mir ein Volk, oi, oi, mir ein Volk, wie Soldaten in ein Volk, oi, oi, oi. Vereinigt alle, oi, oi, vereinigt alle, wieder Hossen mit der Kalle, oi, oi, oi. Wieder Besen mit der Stecken, oi, oi, mit den Stecken, wie sitzt es mit die Ecken, oi, oi, oi. Wie die Tier mit der Mezuse, wie die Talle mit der Bluse, wie der Chumisch mit der Asche, oi, oi, mit der Asche, wie der Kugel mit der Kasche, oi, oi, oi. Wie der Tanschik mit dem Glanz, oi, oi, mit dem Glanz, wie der Klezmer mit dem Tanz, oi, oi, oi. Dai, 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 dai. Hi, dai, 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 dai. Hi, dai, 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 dai. Hi, dai, 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 dai. Und wir seien alle freilich, oi, oi, alle freilich, die Jödissen und David haben heilig, oi, oi, oi. Und wir seien mit alle, oi, oi, mit alle, Begel, Plätzel, Wicke, alle, oi, oi, oi. Und wir wollen sich versammeln, oi, oi, sich versammeln, ziehen Stub, sie durch die Akanen, oi, oi, oi. See bei Zoom und see bei Google, oi, oi, see bei Google, jeder bringt der eigen Kugel, oi, oi, oi. Ei, dai, 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 ei, dai, 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 ei, dai, 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 dai. Ei, dai, 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 dai. Ay, die, 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 die. So, we've had a tiny bit of a, oops, there's no more power on the thing that we wrote our script on. So Mom has run to grab something for that. But in the meantime, I definitely saw there was a hand and questions.
Don't see any questions in the chat right now, but there had been a hand. If you would like. Yoshini Uncle, is that a hand? Yes. Unmute and then you can.
First of all, I've known the song for so long and never knew all these verses. They're just fantastic. They're unbelievable. They're so funny and so, you know, just one thing in the translation when it says Chumash is not the Bible. Chumash are the first 5 books of the Torah. So I'm sure. So just one, and tzitzis are the fringes, not the talus itself.
Yeah, but
the tassels and the fringes were referring to the talus. Yes, thank you.
From a secular atheist Jew who, you know.
Don Jerry.
And Jamie, yes, you had your hand up earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Can you hear me okay? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I've always sung the chorus, oy, 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 oy. And do you do the other one just because of the having that consonant, make it easier at the beginning?
So I grew up Chana Melodic in Shiladrai and in Shiladrai in the Bronx taught die die die. The
Yeah.
Klezmatics sing oy oy oy, and that I think that made it very popular to sing oy oy oy. They're all nonsense syllables, so there's no right or wrong one. Whatever you like is fine. You could even come up with yabababai or something else if you like.
But personally, the exact reason you just said, oi, 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 is not as easy for me to get out the way that die, 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 die is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep,
It's to each their own.
yep, yep. Okay. Any other questions about Achtes alle Brüder before we move on to Achtes Beethoven?
Parrots, please.
Yes, parrots, parrots. Yes, Noah.
It's not a question. I just wanted to call attention to the to the link that I put in the chat
Okay.
of the Klasmatics
Ah,
recording
yes.
Yeah,
of
the
the song.
Klezmatics do it
That's
off.
that's one of the recordings that I've
And they don't do these verses.
recording of it that I heard as a kid.
Ah, that's great. And they do the happy, united, the Sie mir seinen viel zu wenig, when wir singen freiliche Lieder, all the words that have evolved over time. So I'm still happy to sing it as a fun, happy song, but it's good to know the context where it came from.
But as I was struggling with the chat, I saw there was it's hard. It's hard to sing a song of how we're all united. In a world that is most definitely not, and that I don't feel comfortable trying to unite with. And it was very comforting for me to find out that actually this original was not trying to force us to unite with folks who do not believe in our humanity.
And this has not been the first time in our history where we have felt this way.
And this next song, which is the Parrots Achtes, we'll get into that as well in a much more wonderful, biting kind of way. So, parrots, I-L parrots, Yud Lamed parrots, is one of the Zaydas of Yiddish literature. Sholem Aleichem made this fantastic, bizarre Mendele Moichesporim is the Zeta, and Parrots is the Tata, and he's the Anicle, even though they were all contemporaries. But Parrots' stories and poems they really just personally encouraged a younger generation of Yiddish speakers to just go for it, write in Yiddish, make Yiddish literature grow and bloom. And so Parrots was born in Poland in 1852, and he lived in various cities across Poland and eventually died in Warsaw in 1915. And he was an avid socialist. In fact, he lost his job as a lawyer in 1889 because of his subversive activities. And so he turned to writing full time. So yay, subversive activities. Yay, who knows what he could have done as a lawyer, but I would say as the person who got to inherit a lot of his literature, I think we turned out all right. So we couldn't find when exactly he wrote Achtes, but it was probably the late 1800s, early 1900s. And the poem is set to the music of Beethoven's chorale of the Ninth Symphony, which already has very idyllic German lyrics by Schiller called Ode to Joy. I grew up very earnestly singing this song. It's a beautiful world about justice, about the races all being together, about the other very racist terms that were used to divide people actually meaning nothing. It's all a fabricated story. Turns out that the original Parrots story, poem, is saying the fabricated story is that we're all getting along. And it is incredible. These missing verses really show parrots skewering the hypocrisy of those who are not living up to the ideals that they spout. The ideals, I just want to be clear, I was a little confused in going off book on that, so I want to be very clear. He's not saying it's a fabricated story that we're all one. He's saying the people who say it are not living it, that's the fabricated story. So let's take a quick look at share screen. This is Achtes parrots. Yeah. We have also updated the language to our more modern times.
There were things like alle Menschen seien Brüder, and also skin color was referred to in ways that we are less comfortable with today. So changed it a little for modern sensibilities.
But we've stuck to the interesting type of way things are done. So, Neue Reute Grüne Rose, we changed it to political groups as opposed to skin colors. Mix the colors all together, all people, one family. So we've changed the alle Menschen in seinen Brüder to alle Menschen ein Mishpacha, one family. From the same father, from the same mother. And one God has created them all, and one homeland, the world, all people, one family, that is certain. All people, one family, blonde, brown hair, red hair, silver hair. Only the colors are different, but their nature is exactly the same. So far, very aligned. These are the verses that we grew up singing, typically know. Here's where things suddenly take a turn. Everywhere the same noise, I've heard it 1,000 times. And from talking to doing, und von sagen zu tragen, it's as distant as heaven to earth. Is von Himmel bis zu der Erde. All people, one family, blonde, brown, red, white, nations, races, and climates, it's a fabricated story. Everywhere the same moralizing, everywhere the same lying, the whole world with their mouth, the politician with their silence.
Can't believe this was written 120 years ago. Feels so relevant today.
So, we'll do this the same way that we did before. Did I go up? Yep.
Oh no, you're right.
Yep. Sorry.
We'll sing the first two verses, which have, well, if you know Ode to Joy, you'll know it, but with different words than you might have ever heard it. So we'll sing the first two slowly so we can just get it. Oh, I want to do the lyrics.
Oh, yes, sorry, that's what I didn't do. So, excuse me. So I will read it, and if you have any questions about words, please let Lilia know. Blaue, rote, grüne Rose, mischt die Farben euch zusammen. Alle Menschen ein Mishpacha, von ein Taten, von ein Mammen. Euch in Gott hat sie beschaffen, und ein Vaterland die Welt. Ein Mishpacha, alle Menschen ein Mishpacha, das ist einmal festgestellt. Alle Menschen ein Mishpacha, blonde, bräune, rote, silberne, anders seien nur die Farben, die Natur ist doch dieselbe. Umitum dasselbe Prallen, hab es 1000-mal gehört, und von Sorgen bis zu Tragen ist von Himmel bis zu der Erde. Alle Menschen ein Mishpacha, blonde, bräune, rote, weiße, Völker, Rassen und Klimaten, sis an euch geklärte Meise. Anders, for a lot of us, we've learned this, is an ausgetrachte Meise. Omitum derselber Musser, omitum derselber Leiden, mitten Meul der ganze Eulem, die Politiker mit Schweigen. Okay, it's still happening, and we're gonna fight it, and we will keep fighting it, because it does get better, but we need to fight it. Feuerreute, grüne Rose, mischt die Farben neu zusammen, alle Menschen in Mischproche, von den Taten, von den Mammen, euch in Gott hat selber schaffen, und in Vaterland die Welt. Alle Menschen in Mischproche, das ist einmal festgestellt.
So that next to last line, it's Beethoven made that anticipatory extra beat. So I try to honor Beethoven, but certainly growing up when we sang this in Yiddish, we didn't do that, which is the way I taught Pauli. So she's singing it the way I taught her. So from the top, all together.
Feuerreute, grüne Rose, mischt die Farben neu zusammen, alle Menschen in Mischproche, von den Taten, von den Mammen, euch in Gott hat selber schaffen, und in Vaterland die Welt. Alle Menschen in Mischproche, das ist einmal festgestellt. Alle Menschen in Mischproche, blonde, bräune, reute, silberne, anders seien nur die Farben. Die Natur ist doch dieselbe, mit dasselbe Prallen, hab das tausendmal gehört, und von Sorgen bis zu Tragen, ist von Himmel bis der Erd. Alle Menschen in Mischproche, Bläune, blonde, reute, weiße, welche Rassen und Klimaten, sie sind euch getrachte Meise, mit derselbe Muster, mit dasselbe Leiden, mitten heult der ganze Eulem, die Politiker mit Schweigen.
Questions? You can also put questions in the chat if you like. Comments,
Realizations.
epiphanies.
Same epiphany. Who knew? I didn't. I mean, this is so wonderful. I mean, I think I know. So, it's like from an old guy who thinks he knows a lot. I still got a lot to learn. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, it was huge. It was only the last few years that I've learned about both of these.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Good to acknowledge that you have a lot to learn.
I'm trying to show off, that I'm humble. My son is here. I can't.
I have to live with him.
Right.
Oh, Eve is asking in the chat, where can we review the first page? Is that the page of the song? I will put the link to
again?
I'll put the link to the lyrics back in the chat.
That's great. So yes, you can have all these for sharing. Please spread this around far and wide. People don't know this. Even Jerry Tenney didn't know this.
Was it common to put Yiddish
Even
lyrics?
Gershon Yankel didn't know it.
Was it common to put Yiddish lyrics to Baroque classical music? Yiddish, certainly as of the Enlightenment, or the Yiddish version of the Enlightenment, the Haskalah learned about literature and music And so you will find like Yiddish translations of literature. Yes, but the Three Musketeers and Dickens and Shakespeare, not only Shakespeare, translated and improved into Yiddish is how they put it.
Ausgebessert.
Yeah, verbessert.
Ausgebessert.
Yeah, yeah.
Aber
So
ich hab Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman
Letter
on
von
the Yiddish.
Graz, yeah.
Yeah, and so songs also. So yes, there are. You can Peretz wasn't the only one. In fact, a lot of Yiddish songs, Zogdit Kemo, if you know Zogdit Kemo, is actually a Russian song. The music is Russian. So Yiddish borrowed from wherever they were, absorbed elements from the cultures that they were surrounded by. So if you hear klezmer music, especially American klezmer music, it sounds a lot like swing music. So it's Yiddish, it's Yiddishized, Jewishized swing music. So we borrowed from everywhere, and we also contributed to everywhere as well. So it went both ways. Good question. Other questions? Lily, if we're missing anything in the chat, let's just jump in and let us know. So otherwise, we'll move on to the next song. Daloi Politsei, which is Down with the Police in Russian. So we've got a Russian in Yiddish. So here's what we're borrowing. I think this was originally all Russian, and then revolutionary Jews, made their Yiddish versions. So Daloi Politsei goes back to the 1905 Russian Revolution. Don't know who wrote the music or the lyrics. And the verses are in Yiddish. And humorously consider various ways of bringing down Tsar Nicholas and the Russian Empire. The refrain is in Russian. So let's take a look at that. Oh, and also, they say the original Yiddish gendered language updated. All it was it says Brider und Schwester. So I didn't want the binary language, so changed it to Chevre zusammen. But then there was a verse that already had zusammen, so I made it something else. So we'll get there. But the only changes there are Brider und Schwester to get rid of the binary language. So we're saying, comrades, let's join hands and let's break down the walls of our little Tsar Nikolai. And the Russian refrain is down with the police and down with the ruling class of Russia. Comrades together, let's forget formalities. Oh, I love this. Lo mir sich nicht irzen. So ir is you, formal, a respectful ir. Du is a familiar do. So if you want to be informal with someone, it's dutzen. But if you want to be formal, it's irzen. So here it says lo mir sich nicht irzen. Let's not be formal. But it's really a good way of just rhyming with lo mir Nikolai the yodelech farkirzen. Let's shorten little Nikolai's ears. Yesterday he was driving a little wagon full of trash. Today he's become a capitalist. Comrades, let's bury Nikolai along with his mother. Cossacks and gendarmes, get off your horses. The Russian Tsar is already dead and buried. And a final refrain. And that's where so the top of the page, instead of Chevre zusammen, since we already had Lo Megeyen zusammen, I made it Tovarischen Chevre. So here's how it, one refrain, the words, thank you, lyrics. So I'll just say the lyrics slowly. Chevre zusammen, lo mir sich geben die Hand, lo mir Nikolaikelen zerbrechen die Wand. And this is Russian, so hey, that's universal. Daloi politsei, daloi samederjaviet vrase. Let's do that one again. Good idea. Hey, daloi politsei, daloi samederjaviet vrase. Chevre zusammen, lo mir sich nicht irzen, lo mir Nikolaikelen die Jorlech verkirzen. Nächten hat geführt auf Wegele mit Mist. Heint ist geworden a Kapitalist. Waritschen Chevre, lo mir gehen zusammen, lo mir Nikolaikelen bagroben mit der Mamen. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi sama der Javiet, Brasse. Kosaken, Gendarmen, arop von die Pferd, der russische Kaiser liegt schon in Drerd. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi sama der Javiet, Brasse. So we'll sing one verse and one refrain. Hevre zusammen, lass uns doch geben die Hand. Lommenickel like the Lenze brechen die Wand. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Now, since Pauli and I are very comfortable tenor voice, but not everybody sings tenor, I think I'll make it a little higher. Okay, let's all sing together. Chevre zusammen, lass uns geben die Hand. Lommenickel like a Lenze brechen die Wand. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Chevre zusammen, lo mir sich nicht irrten, lo mir nickel like a Lende jorelig parkierten. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Neffen hat geführt, da Wegele mit Mist, heint ist geworden a Kapitalist. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Tovarischen Chevre, lo mir gehen zusammen, lo mir Nikolaikelen bagroben mit dem Mammen. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Kosaken, Gendarmen, arop von die Feld, der russische Kaiser liegt schon in Feld. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Hey, hey, da loi Polizei, da loi samen de Javiets, Brasse. Thank you. We had fun singing that.
Anytime I get to just sing down with, it's so good.
I see a hand from Diana. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so maybe you talked about this. I'm sorry I got here late, but when it says things like loin, shoin, and dread, or licht, shoin, and dread, couldn't you also translate that he's already in hell rather than just he's already in the earth, living in dread?
Yes, that is true. Gay and dread doesn't mean just that you should be buried. You should be buried deep down. Yes.
So we're burying him, but he's already in hell.
Yeah, exactly. Dread literally means the earth, but yes, it also means hell.
Like Bakken Bagel, and Dread.
Yes. Yes, good point. Yeah, so it's even stronger than the translation we provided. Yes.
Yeah. No, this is really wonderful. Thank you.
Our pleasure. I
have just a nitpicky question. In the Latin oysyes, it says Daloi Samarajavets, and in the Yiddish oysyes, it says Samarajavye. And is that just a typo, or is there some historical interesting thing going on there?
So not knowing Russian, is there anybody who has a little more Russian knowledge who could speak to what it actually would be?
Eve put in the chat, said, will suggest that there's a nuance that somebody, no. The vets perhaps literally.
Yes. Some of the Soviets literally means autocracy. I made it ruling class because that was what it's referring to, but it's a one person rule is literally what some of the Soviets meant. So yes, thank you for clarifying. I took a little poetic license and made it down with the ruling class, but literally down with autocracy. But didn't sound like strong that people. Autocracy is certainly a thing to worry about, but it's not a common thing that you hear about these days. So it's a common term. So I made it ruling class.
Yesterday, a lot of us from Camp Kinderland were honoring a very long time program director and, most importantly, passer on of a lot of musical knowledge and history at Camp Kinderland, who passed away a few weeks ago, Ira Polanski. And one of the big jokes that we had about him was how much he hated polysyllabic, that was the whole point, words for simple concepts. And so this is one of those cases of really trying to get to what it is instead of the official highfalutin term.
Oh, so we're honoring Ira. It is nice to honor Ira. Yeah, let's actually, we can dedicate this evening to Ira Polanski, amazing, quirky, crazy fixture of Camp Kinderland for many years, and just an amazing, wonderful person who went unexpectedly a few weeks ago. So honor his memory. Judy.
Yeah, just a quick, going back to the concept of, licht and dreher. In my family, they also use the expression, I was wondering if anybody else had ever heard that it used it like, a setzen dreher mit him, a setzen dreher mit dir, like go to hell. That, and I was recently in a class and the teacher had never heard anything like that.
I have not. Anyone else?
I have not either. It's always a Lichtenberg,
Well, right.
Everything is good. I mean, it's all good. It's just interesting that different families would have different traditions, And
I heard the one tonight is mine is a variation on the one that we're hearing here. But I was wondering if anybody else had heard it. Zetzenred, go to hell.
We would say gay in the
Yeah,
yeah.
That also, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if it's that's not only you're putting them here, you're pushing them into the
right.
Right.
I like it.
That's all. Das alles. Dank for great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. And I just want to check and see if there's any other questions. I saw one or two other people unmuting. If you have a question, please feel free to ask.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, moving on.
All right, so now let's go into what I personally feel is we're going away from the, you know what? Nope, we're just going to go with this. Let's move on to Itzik Monger. Itzik Monger was born in 1901 in Chernovich, which is now in Ukraine. He lived in Romania, Poland, France, England, New York, Montreal, and died in Israel in 1969. Monger wrote many satiric poems, including Lieder von Gan Eden and Die Megillah, which pokes fun at biblical stories and the story of Purim. In the song Rabbeinu Tam, he brings a revered sage down to earth. Rabbeinu Tam was a 12th century sage and grandson of Rashi, the great commentator on religious practices. Rashi and his grandson, Rabbeinu Tam, had several disagreements which have been passed down to us. One concerned the order of scripts on the head tefillin, and today some people wear Rashi tefillin, and others wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, and some wear both as a compromise. Another disagreement concerned the placement of the mezuzah on doorways. Rashi indicated that the mezuzah should be placed vertically to point to the heaven, but Rabbeinu Tam indicated the mezuzah should be placed horizontally in accordance with older tradition that placed the mezuzah in crevices between the stones around the doorway. Today, many Ashkenazic Jews place the mezuzah at a slant, another compromise, and many Sephardic Jews place it vertically. Of all the rabbis to honor with this song, why did Itzik Monger choose Rabbeinu Tam? We don't know. But we just want to note that Tam can mean simple, as in the simple child of the Passover parable of the 4 children, the wise one, the wicked one, the simple one, and the young one. Tam also can mean taste or charm, which may refer to why Rabbeinu Tam is receiving a love letter in the song. Also, it's just a fun sound. The music is by Hertz Rubin, and we did not find out much about him except that he lived from 1911 until 1958. So let's take a look at Rabbeinu Tam. So, Rabbeinu Tam, I'm now moving this thing to see if we can get it all in one screen. Well, okay, so that's like that. Yeah. All right. So, let's all sing this beautiful song, I Diddle Diddle Dum. This is another part about the golden apava, the symbol of Yiddish literature. Flies over the Black Sea, carrying a love note, a beautiful love note for our Rabbeinu Tam. But who wrote this note? The note was written by the Queen of Turkey. Wrote it with red ink and sealed it quickly with three hot tears. I love how even if I'm reading it, I'm hot tears 3 was what I tried to say.
In the order of Yiddish, yes.
What is written in the note? And so you'll see the hi diddle diddle do, just the fun, same as yidishe, same as oysyes, except in this case, the last syllable is in order to rhyme with what comes next. Rabbeinu Tam, I love you. Why are you silent? No? I'm not eating, I'm not drinking, I'm bursting with longing, I have no peace. So what did Rabbeinu Tam do? Hi diddle diddle deck. He strokes on his side locks and beard and says, "Feh." 3 times feh. And the little goat in the stable, the little white goat, again, white goat, symbol of Yiddish literature and culture, agrees with him, meh. Well, and the Rebbitzin, what does she do? She smacks him with a rolling pin and says to him thus, "You have non-Jewish women on your mind. And me, what about me, your devoted wife?" So guess who wrote the song, Hi Diddle Diddle Dum? A tailor's apprentice wrote it in honor of Rabbeinu Tam. And on Shabbos, between day and night, some jokester put in his own words, his own lines, and rhymed them up perfectly. So let's sing this, but I'm gonna sneeze. I'm not. Okay.
Okay, the first word.
Words. See, this is why we team up. One of us will remember every time. Lomil Zingen. This one has a lot of words. So we'll try to sing it slowly, even though it's really fun to sing quickly. That's a note to myself. Lomil Zingen das schöne Lied, I diddle diddle dum, wie die goldene Pave flieht über den schwarzen Jam. und trockt a Liebesbrievele, a schöne Liebesbrievele, for dem Rabbeinu Tam, and then that will repeat.
And there's a die.
And there's die. Was hat geschrieben das, wer hat geschrieben das Brievele, I little die? Geschrieben hat das Brievele die Malke von Türkei. Geschriebenes mit roten Tint und, nope.
Verhasst.
I can sing it. Verhasst es geschwind mit heiße Tränen drei. Was steht geschrieben in Brievele, hei diddle du? Rabbeinu Tam, ich liebe dich. Wolje schweigst du nu? Wolje schweigst du nu? Ich esse nicht, ich trinke nicht, ich werde setzen von Bänken nicht, ich habe nicht kein Ruhe.
I'd like to comment on that
Yes,
last
please.
verse. You'll notice a lot of things that don't sound Yiddish. Ich esse nicht, ich trinke nicht, ich habe nicht kein Ruhe. So I think this is, it's German. So I think it's affecting German was the high class language of civilization. And so the Queen of Turkey, of course, maybe she doesn't speak jargon. Maybe she speaks, if she speaks jargon, Yiddish, that lowly language, it's with a German way about her.
Germanized. So, Volje tut Rabbeinu Tam, diddle de, glätt die Päs und die Bord und macht dreimal fett. Und das Ziegele in Stahl und das weiße Ziegele hält unter Met. Nu, und sie, die Rebetzen, diddle doi, sie klappen mit dem Wagerholz und sagt zu immer so, schickst es liegen dir in Sinn, du und Jach wo bin, dein heiß geliebter Freund. Trefft, wer's hat das Lied gemacht, diddle dam, a Schneiderjung hat es gemacht, lekovid dem Rabbeinu Tam. Und Schabes zwischen Tag und Nacht hat Letz reingeklappt, akkurat zum Gramm, sorry. There's Eitel in between, and even though it's a long song, as many as we have the time,
Yeah.
let's do it all.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's sing it first, just sing the...
One verse and a nicken,
and then we'll go back and do it all. Lass mir singen das schöne Lied, Heidel, Diddle, Dam, wie die goldene Pave flieht über den schwarzen Jan, und trockt a Liebesbrievele, a schöne Liebesbrievele, von dem Rabbeinu Tam, von dem Rabbeinu Tam, ai, 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 ai,
Okay, hope you got it. By the end of the 6th verse, I bet you will.
Hey Tata, would you be willing? Extra bissel Wasser. Yes, Tata meine. Thank you. Thank you. A note, we are currently at the home of Michael and Linda, my Tata Mama.
And you can make an appearance.
Linda.
Yeah, he was, he banished himself to another room so he would be free to make faces. So from the top.
Lass mir singen das schöne Lied, Heidel, Diddle, Dam, wie die goldene Pave flieht über den schwarzen Jan, und trockt a Liebesbrievele, a schöne Liebesbrievele, von dem Rabbeinu Tam, von dem Rabbeinu Tam, ai, 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 ai. Wer hat geschrieben das Brievele, Heidel, Diddle, Dai? Geschrieben hat das Brievele die Malke von Türkei. Geschriebenes mit roten Tint und verfasst es geschminkt mit heißen Zwergen drei, mit heißen Zwergen drei. Ei, 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 ei. Versteckt geschrieben in Briefele, Heidel, Didel, du. Rabbeinu Tam, ich liebe dich, was schweigst du nu? Ich esse nicht, ich trinke nicht, ich wetze trinke nicht, ich habe nicht kein Ruhe, ich habe nicht kein Ruhe. Ei, 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 ei. Worship to Rabbeinu Tam, idle diddle de. Gladly prays und the Boden noch dreimal fett. Und die Ziegele in Stall und das weiße Ziegele, helft ihm unter Meer, helft ihm unter Meer. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Nu und sie die Rebbetzin, Eidel, Didel, Doi, sie klappte mit nem Wagenholz und sagt zu immer so, Schicksals liegen in den Sinn, du und Jach und bin dein heißgeliebter Freund, dein heißgeliebter Freund. Ai, 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 ai. Treffers hat das Lied gemacht, Eidel, Didel, Dam. A Schneiderjung hat es gemacht, Lekovet Rabbeinu Tam. Und Schabes zwischen Tag und Nacht hat Alexa reingelacht, akkurat zum Gramm, akkurat zum Gramm. Ei, 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 ei. Yay!
Oh, comments, questions, Joy. Who knows?
That last verse mean? What is that supposed to mean?
So the Schneiderjung, the tailor, very earnestly wrote it.
Well, no,
Okay.
first someone who was someone wrote a poem to honor Rabbeinu Tam.
Mm-hmm.
And then some jokester snuck in and replaced a few key words, kept the rhyming, kept everything, but kind of changed the meaning of the song, which is what was handed down to us by Yitzhak Monger.
As I understand it, Yitzhak Monger liked to insert himself into a lot of the things and would.
That's true. He might have been.
Somebody
Good
did this and gave it to me.
I like that. Absolutely. It's Monger that does Let's. That Joker is Monger himself. So that's all we have handed down to us because this Joker took out all the.
We don't know what the original thing of love was, but honoring.
Is the idea that he doesn't like that guy?
This is focus. So the rabbis, the sages, they represented the power structure. And here Monger is attacking and making fun of the power structure and taking it down a notch.
Okay.
So there are a lot of songs. In fact, there are songs that some people even think are truly honoring the Baal Shem Tov and other revered sages, but they're really satirical. Just like we didn't know that Achdus was satirical, these honoring these sages and the miracles that they can perform, which are supposed to be satirizing. Yeah, right. People now actually sing them with all due sincerity, honoring the rabbis. But the idea was taking them down a notch, poking fun at the power structure.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Certainly.
Yeah, if people want to get a sense of how satirical and how much Monger inserted himself into his work, reading either the Chumash Lieder or the Megillah of Yitzhak Monger, you're going to get, they're hilariously funny.
Yes.
And you just realize how much he's just shredding the entire system.
Absolutely. Thank you for that astute observation. There's a reason I married you. That's just one of many. Other observations, questions, comments, puzzlement. Okay, moving on. We have one more song. We're going to jump to the 21st century. Yes, people are writing new Yiddish songs. And in retirement, I've never written poetry, songs, except for, little children's things in my life. And then in retirement, I found myself writing Yiddish songs. I'm not fluent in Yiddish. I'm not formally trained in music, but these Yiddish songs started coming out to me. So about a year ago, I was feeling particularly discouraged by the state of the world, especially all the many lies being presented as truth. So I wanted to write a song to help us all derive strengths from the things that we all absolutely can agree are true. And I failed miserably. So instead, out came a song called Efsher, Maybe. I think I managed to inject a little bit of hope in the last verse. So let's take a look.
I just want to say, Mom's process of writing songs is that out of nowhere, she'll be like, I wrote this song, and tell me it or sing it to me, and I'll be like, okay, I think I can learn that. And then a day later, we've completely changed all of these things. Okay. And it's very fun because this particular song, I remember we were sitting in the car together trying to come up with the list of things that were actually true. And at some point, it was something about how the sky is blue. And I was like, well, and we just got into this really fun of, but when it's not, of all the things, even the things that we state are true for all of us, we just couldn't.
Yeah, I actually wrote the middle verse first, and I sang it. I was trying to be serious, and Pauli says, "Mom, that's pretty sardonic." I go, "Oh, okay, I could go that way." Thank you, my inspiration here. So, year-old song, 21st century, Efshe, maybe. So, smart is good and foolish bad, maybe. We were enslaved in ancient Egypt, maybe. My words are true, maybe. I am always right, maybe. Sun and sky, salt and sea, certain. Grandma's kugel, full of flavor, certain. Maybe does not mean probably, certain. And the nicken goes bim bam, certain. All come to understanding, may it be. People's work side by side, may it be. Generations grow one after the other, may it be. Peace blooms in every land, may it be. And then we'll do a niggin on the melody and end with, may it be certain, maybe. So here are the lyrics. Klug is gut und not is schlecht. Efscher. Geworden in Mitzrayim Knecht. Efscher. Meine Werte seien echt. Efscher. Ich bin allemal gerecht. Efscher. Efscher, Efscher, Efscher. And we actually sing it. We sing Efscher 6 times. Sonn und Himmel, Salz in Yam, sicher. Bobes Kugel, Molatam, sicher. Efscher meint nicht Minnesam, sicher. Und an Nicken geht Bim Bam, sicher. Sicher, sicher, sicher. Sicher, sicher, sicher. Alle kommen zu Verstand, soll sein. Völker arbeiten benannt, soll sein. Teures wachsen noch anand, soll sein. Schollen blit in jedem Land, soll sein. Soll sein, soll sein, soll sein. Ja, bye-bye. soll sein sicher. So here is one verse and refrain. I think that's pretty good. Klug is gut und nadisch schlecht, Efter, geworden in Mitzrayim Knecht, Efter, meine Welt ist eine Nacht, Efter, ich bin allemal gerecht, Efter, 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 Efter. Efter, Efter, Efter. So we'll take it from the top and sing together. Klug ist gut und nadisch schlecht, Efter, geworden in Mitzrayim Knecht, Efter, meine Welt ist eine Nacht, Efter, ich bin allemal gerecht, Efter, 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 Efter. Efter, 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 Sonnenhimmel, salten Yam, Zicher, wo bis Kogel Molatam, Zicher, Efter mit nicht Ministam, Zicher, und an dicken Gipim Bam, Zicher, 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 alle kommen zu Verstand, soll sein, Völker arbeiten benannt, soll sein, deines wachsen noch an Land, soll sein, Shalom blitz in jedem Land, soll sein, soll sein, soll sein, soll sein, soll sein, soll sein, soll sein. Ya ba 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 ba, yam bye. Ya ba 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 ba, yam bye. Ya ba 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 ba, yam bye. Ya ba 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 ba, yam bye. Soll sein, soll sein, soll sein. Soll sein, soll sein, soll sein. Soll sein, sicher, Efter. My mom, she's pretty cool. Yay. So that was our collection. Oh, songs, questions. Ask all about it. How does that happen? Partly with the help of Chaim Bochner, Harry Bachner, who does know Yiddish. So he's my my Yiddish maven and helps me from going too far astray. But any remaining errors or issues are mine alone. But I couldn't do these songs without Harry Bachner. Thank you. Yay! Yeah, she's got a whole lot of really great songs. She's made them available on YouTube. You can go find them.
It's wonderful the way your voices blend. It's a pleasure to hear.
Thanks, Bubba.
Love you, Mom. Oh, thank you for putting the YouTube, the channel, the link to my YouTube channel, Yiddish Songs by Linda Gritz.
How's Ben
Well, glad to
doing?
have you. Welcome.
How's Ben doing?
What was that, Noah?
How's Ben doing?
Well, we can
Yeah,
talk.
that's-
He's fine. He's well, thank you. We can talk offline.
Let's,
Have chats about that.
yes, I'm wondering if maybe we should do sort of thank yous, get a photo, and then afterwards, if folks want to have a chance to chat after we stop recording. Does that sound good? Okay.
Yes.
So I will do some quick thank yous first. First, of course, to Linda and Polly, to Fragel and everyone at Rad Yiddish and Queer Yiddish Camp for helping organize, to our cart captioner today, Sarah. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining.
And I
Fragel,
want to
should I-
thank Lilia, who was really instrumental in organizing this event and helping make the slides and with the lyrics and transliteration look so beautiful. I want to echo another thank you to Linda and Polly. I learned so much from both of you about the history of a lot of these songs, that some of which I've sung before, but didn't know all this backstory, which is really cool. I'm going to be looking at more Yiddish songs now with a satirical lens and wondering how many of them are probably more satirical than we think. So we have this tradition at our events that we really love to take a group photo. So if you don't want to be in the photo, you can momentarily turn your video off. And if you have had your video off the whole time and you're like, I want to say that I was here, just turn it on for a minute so we know that you were here and we can snap a lovely photo. So I'll give people like 3 seconds maybe to turn their video on if you're looking for that button.
What about can some of us get 30 seconds instead?
I'm sure if folks need 30 seconds, then I will just once again remind folks that if you enjoyed this event, you are able to donate money to these organizations who put it on. And I will put the link in the chat one more time. We really appreciate any amount you're able to give. It means so much. And has that been 30 seconds? Have folks all gotten a chance? Well, Noah's here, so I'm going to say yes. Okay. Smile, your best Zoom smile. Thanks all. And we also want to announce the upcoming events, so don't go away just yet. The next events from Rad Yiddish and Queer Yiddish Camp are that we have a Radical Yiddish Purim Games and costume party on Sunday, March 24th. And we have a Queer Yiddishist Shmuas Kreis, where whether you're beginner or totally fluent, you can come and practice speaking Yiddish in different breakout rooms. And the links to sign up for both of those are now in the chat as well. Does Boston Worker Circle have anything upcoming that you all want to announce?
I can do a save the date for the spring concert of A Bessere Welt, our Yiddish social justice chorus. We are going to have our annual concert on Saturday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Featuring Hank Snetsky and Judy Bressler. Judy, who is here today.
So Boston Worker Circle has lots of Yiddish cultural activities and social justice activities. So we put the website, circleboston.org, into the chat. This Thursday we'll have a Yiddish schmooze, a Yiddish winkel, we just chat and talk in Yiddish. All levels welcome, but it is conducted in Yiddish. And the information for that is on the website as well. Mike and I host a monthly Yiddish sing-along on the 4th Thursday of the month. All sorts of wonderful activities going on. Check out circleboston.org.
The Yiddish sing is done more just singing the songs, not teaching the songs as much.
Yeah, so we sing a lot. We sing about 15 songs in an hour and a half.
Right.
This month it'll be Purim, so come sing Purim songs.
And Kaya Berman is doing a kind of Klestronica Purim frenzy. What day is that? That's
Next
Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Oh, is that the same time as Graga?
It is Grogger.
It
It's
is.
part of Grogger.
Oh, it is Graga.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Graga. Boston Workers Circle has a crazy radical Purim party with a great unique spiel, Purim play, and party.
And
So
that's this Saturday?
this Saturday, look, circleboston.org.
And if you're interested, unfortunately, I think as of this morning, there were about only 15 or 20 spaces left for live, but it will be streamed.
But grab your tickets.
And that reminds me, I almost forgot because we at Rad Yiddish don't do a lot of in-person events. We really do most things online and transnational, but we are having an in-person event. It's going to be a radical spiel and fundraiser for Gaza. We're organizing it together with If Not Now Toronto and the United Jewish People's Order Toronto. And I just put the link for getting those tickets in the chat if you happen to be in the Toronto area. So lots of options for radical Purim spiels. And I'll say thank you to all of you again for coming and have a wonderful night.